Okay, I was saying that if the developer clones your application and they want to access these node modules or the modules that your application uses, then you have to use npm install. When you do npm install, it will install all the node modules that your application uses. How does the application track those modules? It uses package.json. When you go to dependencies, that's where they go. Okay, assume you want to install, let's say, using .env. .env is a library for you are reading separate variables from environment file. Okay, so use a package, for example, called the React Native.env. So this is one of the libraries or modules. Now, a command, of course, is here, npmi, as I've told you, that use node package manager to install those modules. So you copy the link, or you then you come here under your project directory, and then you say npm install node modules. Now, when you install, it will be part of the dependencies. Okay, so it will also go in in node modules as well. Then it will also be part of the package.json. Okay, now you can see it has been installed. If you look at my console, you see that after clicking npmi react native.env, which is the library for reading .env variables like secrets like database credentials, API UIs. So it's good to store those. You know that it is a very good idea to always store them in .env files. Yeah, and remember, .env files as well, they are not pushed to GitHub, so no one can access or to say that someone will steal your environment's secret variables from GitHub. So you see, after doing this, they're saying added two packages. Now when you look at this, you see that React Native .env has been added. Okay, they show you the library and then the version. And see, even every time let's say you want to know, for example, what version is a user, what kind of version is a React Native app, you go to package.json and you'll be able to look at the version. As you can see, for me, this app is version 0.74, and of course React Native of course is built on top of React, so you see it is using React 18. Okay, so the package.rock, this one you can always delete, but you can't delete package.json. If you delete package log file, it can always be generated from package, but you can't delete it package.json. So I will just randomly go through some of the important files. For example, tsconfig is normally for configuring TypeScript. If you're using TypeScript, it is TS means TypeScript, TypeScript configuration. So if you're up React Native TypeScript, then you will have the configuration for TypeScript in this file. Yeah, so that's basically it for tests. This is the folder for writing tests. Okay, of course, in software development, we write tests for applications. If you want to write tests for your application, then you go under tests folder. Now, if you generate your APK, of course, there are commands that we use, but they are not for now. Your APK goes to, if it is Android, it goes Android. Then you go to app build outputs. So it will be part of these outputs. If you have different environments, you have production, development here. Okay, and outputs, that's where your APK goes after you've generated the APK. Now, when you are going to send or to deploy your bundle, normally right now we no longer use APKs. APKs during the deployment on Play Store, we now use what we call bundles. But assume you want a user to install your app where you're still testing. Maybe you're somewhere, you've developed your app and you want Herbert or Levi to test out. Now you have to send them an APK. So so you that APK, of course, I've told you the APKs, the outputs, it's either a bundle or an APK. When you're deploying to Play Store, you deploy using a bundle. Before we used to use APKs, but they later introduced what? They later introduced bundles, and it's what we normally use now. But for APKs, they are good when you want, for example, like a friend to test out before you deploy on Play Store. But of course, Play Store itself has like environments. There's what we call internal testing, where you first, before the app goes live, you first put it to internal testing, and the user will be then you add some emails. Those emails are specifically for testers, for the people whom you want to test, who you want to test out the app. So you add them to internal testing. It is restricted to a group of internal testers, or the people you've selected as your testers for your application. So then, of course, what we call beta testing, production. Production is when you decide for the application to go live. So maybe, hopefully, we will look at that in case we are able to reach a stage of deploying the app on Play Store. Now, then if you look at this debug.keystore, now when you're deploying an app on Play Store, you have to use what we call key stores. Key stores are used to like sign off applications, like for security. If you can't deploy an application that has not been signed, Google will reject that. So we use keys. There are commands we use to generate like key stores. They ask you like, what is the organization name, what is the name, I think, of your application is also involved, what is your city, what is your country, like nationality and all that, in the department, I think somewhere in there, then the password that will be used to sign off, to sign that application. So that information is all that important in key store file, in generating key store, which is used in signing your application, okay, or APKs or bundles. If you go to build.gradle, you will find if you go under build.gradle, you realize that here signing configurations, there is a key, an object signing configurations. For now there is the bug, but if you're sending like to Play Store, the key changes basically the one that reflects that you're going to production. We normally use release, meaning that you're going to release that application. So I hope, guys, you're writing these important information. It is very important going forward. So here, if you see store file, as I've said, the key store file is usually like signing off the application. That's why here you see signing configurations. You cannot deploy an app that has not been signed. And this key store is generated. I've told you that you have to enter information about your company and all that. Then there is password. They ask you for password that is be used in generating this file. Then key alias, all the key password, all these are used in signing off the key. Someone can mute.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
I hope the lesson is being recorded.
Yes.
Okay.
So you can always, now if you look at this, you look at that the store password right now. They are, if you look at this, they are saying that because this is the bug, okay. If it is a Play Store, like if you're going to release it to Play Store, this password should not be shown. So normally people can configure the password in here, gradle.properties, but still gradle.properties, if you're sending it to GitHub, the credentials will go. So there's why you store in a hidden file on your computer, and then it will be able to read those credentials. So instead of putting them inside here or inside build.gradle. So it's important that you know all of these configurations. And then there's sometimes you will be trying to use like a package, maybe let's say for camera. I'm just giving an example, maybe for camera or for sound or for doing something, or for uploading files, and then you find that you have to install. They will show you how to install, and then you at one point you find like you need to change these configurations. Okay, now of course for Android uses Java, of course, or Kotlin. So you can see this main activity is like Java file. This is like Java. If you observe it very well, this is Java. Okay, or Kotlin. So here you have the name of the application configured, like get main component name, like initialize. Okay, so then you find that at one point you have to configure certain, a few things here. But as I've observed over time that as versions have been upgraded, like there's no need to write stuff inside here. They keep like, but some versions or libraries that you try to install, they will sort of be requiring you to have your, to have some configurations inside either main.activity or main application, which is basically the Java files. But you rarely interact with this unless you install it. You've installed a module library that requires you to update those files. Okay, app.json, that's where the app name is configured. The name of the app. If you want to change, you can change here. You can change the name of the app from there. And of course you have to change a few files here and there, but this is the main file app.json, which has the app name. Okay, display name, then the name, then app.t TypeScript. So now, before React Native, the older versions used to use only JavaScript, but the newer files use TypeScript. Okay, they use TypeScript. So the TypeScript, I hope you know the difference between TypeScript and JavaScript. Now, TypeScript is statically typed, while JavaScript is dynamically typed. So when someone says that a language is statically typed, then it means that you have to define the data types of variables. If a method is taking any parameter, then you must declare whether it's a string or a number or a boolean, etc. But when it is dynamically typed, like JavaScript, you don't have to declare. If you've created a function, for example, I can come, you can come here and then create a function, and I say function maybe calculate area, and then I do this. Okay, then I say maybe length, width. Okay, and then maybe I say return length times width. Okay, so this is basically what we call static type. The variables here, as you can see, they are not what, they are not defined. They are not defined, like the data types are not defined. But if you go like under TypeScript, this is TypeScript. Okay, TypeScript file for JX, basically, which uses the JX is where you have sort of like HTML like, that's what we call JX. So you can create like a function inside here, but because it is TypeScript, by default TypeScript, you see now, if you look at this, they are showing that we have some errors. I taught you the hooks, so for now I can convert this one to a hook. I remember I taught you in JavaScript the kind of I want this inside app. Can create this one here. Okay, so as you can see, by default, you see it is showing errors. Why? Because because you have to declare the data types of length and w since you're using TypeScript. Okay, so you can come here and say number, and then you come here and say number, something like that. So so here, of course, they are saying this is assigned a value but never use it. So these are now TypeScript configuration, like if you set like configuration to make sure that it must be used. You see, calculate area is assigned a value but never what, but never used. So meaning that you have to use this function. So those, but you can see here errors have gone length and then width. Why? If we remove number here, they are showing you that there is an error there. Why? Because TypeScript is statically typed, meaning that you have to declare the variables for each what? For each you have to declare variables for each parameters or variables that you're using. Okay, so yeah, so you can come here and say calculate this, calculate area 5 4, and here they are showing you don't have this, but when you create like a text here, if you create a text here, maybe you say text and then you put area. So you have to produce this, and then you have to import here, so you can, it's actually here text. So yeah, so that's basically how you can you know, that's basically how you can create like a function, the expression for statically typed and then dynamically what? Dynamically typed, as you can see. Now if I, let me see if I can show my app. I want us to do something small today. Okay, let me see if I can show you my screen. We do some, I just want to go through a few things so that you guys are able to see. Let me see if I can project my phone. What's that tool? What's that tool? What's that tool? Let me, I want to project my phone so that you guys can see the app. Okay, screen mirror. I'm forgetting that tool. Yet it is installed. So basically that's what I want us to look at, a few concepts. Now if I may go through a few things. One, if you want to import components, React Native has built-in components like view is like a div, text is like text, yeah? You know, when you want to have the text like paragraph, not necessarily paragraph, but a text, you know, text, yeah? I'm going to school, that's a text. A view is like a div. Style sheet is used to help you to create styles, styles, you know, you want to create to have color on a tag, you want to maybe make it bolder, so you create what we call what? Styles. Then you have scroll view. Scroll view is the one for, okay, is used is one for scroll. If you want to scroll, you have a lot of information on the screen, and so you want people to scroll. So there you have to use what? You have to use scroll view. Then safe area, we normally use safe area when we want our content to make sure it fits very well. Even on other normally use it with alongside scroll view and flat list. Then there are quite many. We would try to explore one at a time. So today I just want us to look at how we can build a small app. Then there is button if you want to have a button. So scr then copy. Okay, so copy. So I'll make sure I get rid of a few things so that I can display our app. And so if I start this, okay, please enter or queue to quit. What's this? Okay. Okay, so you guys can see my app. This is my phone, right? Do you guys see my phone? I can't hear anyone. Do you guys see my phone?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir, we can see. We can see it.
Aha, so good. So we're going to build a small app, okay? I just want us to start a small app on our own. So I've said now I've removed everything. So, but my app is showing an error because you can't have nothing within. But if we go back, you see now there is nothing, purely nothing on the screen. So a div is like a view is like a div, which is going to contain, a div in HTML, okay? So I don't like these warnings. I think it's because of TypeScript. So then if you want to have a text, we can have a text and we say welcome to Mutual Rise app, okay? So if we go back there, we will see that we have, you see this one, welcome to Mutual Rise app. It's right there, small there. So if you want to create styles, you let me just delete this. If you want to create styles, you import a component called style sheet from React Native here, okay? So you can come here and write styles, or if you want, you can say style, then you say, for example, color maybe red. This is inline now, okay? This is inline what? Inline styles. Now if you go to our app, you see that we have welcome to Mutual Rise app in red, okay? If you want to increase font, you can say font size maybe 20, okay? Then if you go back to the app, you will see that it's quite big now, okay? So I hope there is that color, right? Is this how it is written? Sky blue? Or is something like that? Okay, sky blue. That's dim. Maybe green. So something like that. Then we can say font weight if you want to bold it. Bold. Okay. Same. There is also some bold. The options quite many. You can always explore. So you can see now it's what? It's bold. Now you can say text align, and maybe we say center, okay? When we say center, it will go in the middle, as you can see, yeah? So yeah, so you can that's how you can create styles. These are inline, inline, like you create them within the way exactly you're applying the styles. So normally we can also apply here. We say flex. I hope you've done like some CSS. You know what flex means, flex, like you can actually come here if you want to read more. Flex, it helps you like in layering out your application. It's like creating a flex box. You can always explore. I think it is under basics, fundamentals, handling. Everything that you need is in the documentation. I like reading the documentation because you're able to see Okay, as you can see, for example, this is the startup, whatever. You see now, this one they created like a text input, a text. You see all this. Okay, you're able to read and learn like if how do you create like score view, very many things that you want here. But a Flexbox helps you to create like helps in layering out your application. Okay, so let me see if I can create something with a Flexbox. View. Okay, then you say view. Okay, so here you say style equals flex 1, then you say style. So I'm creating it's like div within div. So I've created two views inside, two views, two divs. This is a first, this is the first which stops here, then there's another which stops there, but they are inside another external view which you said is like a div. Okay, so here I can say background color maybe red, maybe background color maybe green. Okay, so something like this. Now when I go to the app, you see what it creates. It creates like it divides them. You see here I have red, here I have green. The upper one, then the next one. So if I go to the next, I can say view. I can create also, so it sort of like partially gives them but before this, let me see if you put like 2 here. Okay, if you put 2, it means that if this one is it means that this one is taking 2/3. This is like 2/3, then this one is a third. So meaning that this div will occupy more space than the first one, because they're saying out of 1. It's like out of 1. Okay, this one is going to take 2/3 and this one is going to take a third. So if you go back to our screen, you realize that the green is occupying more space on the screen compared to the red. Do you see this? But if I put 1, it means that they are occupying equal space. Maybe this one 50%, this one also 50%. That's why if I display, you realize that now they are occupying almost the same. It is the same space actually. Okay, but if you say this one is taking like 3/3, you see it is bigger. This is now like 3 out of 1. So if you say 2, it means it's taking 2/3. Okay, so that's basically it. It helps you in layering out your application. Maybe there is first one, what you want to first put in the first div here, then in the second one, stuff like that. Okay, if you create another one and you say view, and maybe we shall give it equal space, and then you say style equals flex 1, then background color maybe blue. So yes, you're now creating 3 of them, but they are equally spaced because you're saying 1 1 1, meaning it is a third plus a third plus a third, meaning they must be the same space. Okay, you can see red, green, then blue, but each one occupies the same what space. If you put here 2, it means if you put 2 here, it means that the green is occupying bigger space. The red and blue will have equal space, like they're occupying equal space, but green will be occupying bigger space. And if you look at this, whereas that blue and red are occupying almost the same space, or the same space, but for green it's bigger because you're saying it is 2, flex 2. Okay, so we call it a flex box. You can really look at it and see how you can know. So let's see if I can put silver. I put what else can I put here? Gray. What else can I put here? It is what is it called? That is almost like what is it? I've forgotten the color that is so almost like white. Anyway, So now if you look at this, of course I've changed the colors. Now this is what you have. Okay, maybe here you can put silver or silver here, then here I make it white, here I make it gray. Okay, so you have something like this. Okay, you have white, gray, and then this. So maybe in the first one, in the first div, you are going to create a text. We say text, and we say welcome, welcome to mutual rise. Okay, now when you do this, you look at it, you see it's a small there. So we did some styling. Now I'm going to create styles that are not applied automatically on the what, on the element. So here we create said that you create them using a style sheet here. So you can come and create an object. You say constant styles. It's up to you to this object. You can name it anything. Then you say style sheet dot create. Okay, then you create your styles here. Then you name, maybe here you say it's a header. This is how you create styles, constant styles. This one you can name it anything. If you want, you can create CSS, but people normally use styles, but you can name it anything. Then you say maybe header text. Okay, then header text. So you create it. If you remember our JSON key, then the object header text, maybe color, maybe I want red. Okay, maybe font weight, maybe I want it bold. Okay, maybe I want text align, maybe in the center. These props you get to know them with time. You get to know them with time. So here I must put this and this as well. So here if you come, so here instead of saying style equals, then you apply them directly, I would say style. I can minimize this. Then you say styles. Style is the one that is down, so that's why you see I have header text, because it is down. If I click on this, it brings me here. So you can see that now you have this welcome to mutualize that, but we can increase font, maybe font size, and then we say 24. Okay, no, this should be font size is always a number, not a string. So if I save, let me try to reload from here. Okay, so if you come, you see it's quite big now. Okay, if you want to convert it to capital, you can use the styles as well. We have, I think, text transform. Okay, and then you say uppercase, lowercase, capitalize, whatever you want. Okay, so this one will convert the text to uppercase. If you come, you will realize that welcome to mutualize is now in what, in red. Okay, can say black. Just convert the color to black. Welcome to mutualize. Okay, so hopefully we are moving on well. So I can create a text. I say maybe it's like a paragraph, or mutualize is an enterprise, or is an application designed by Darlington Singwile. I say it enables entities, financial, can say financial entities to manage their maybe member profiles. Okay, member profiles. Then you can say accounts, fixed deposits, savings, shares, etc. Loan applications, active loans. Okay, active loans. Then what is staff reports, like financial statements. Okay, anyway, I'm just creating them. So if you look at this, you see we have this. see how I have my text there. So it's quite small and not visible enough. So I can also write it's CSS. I can call it description, the key. Then I say maybe color. Maybe you can use the color code is black. Then I can say font size maybe 14. What is then? Now I can come back here and apply my styles. I will say style equals styles dot description. Now if you come and see, you realize that now it's the color, it's black, it's what you see it very well. Now if I want, I can make sure maybe the content goes to the center. So justify content center. Then let me see, align content center as well. Let me see. Okay, align items, or you can actually use align save center. Okay, yeah. Let me see if I want to achieve something I want to achieve. Justify center. Then yeah, or let me see, I can achieve this with, let me see what. So I have this. No, I want to make sure I'm applying it wrong. Yeah, I'm applying it wrong. I must apply it to this. Okay, so justify content center. Okay, so justify content center. So if I put justify content center, you can see that it is in the center. If I remove it, if I remove justify content to the center, I want you to observe it very well. That's why you see where it is. It's like when you want to put content in the center, and like in the actual center of the component, like of this view. So use justify what for vertical. It puts it in the center. Now you can see where it is. It is in the center of that view, which is the white view that we've created. And then we can use align. Okay, I misapply align content, and then you can also center, and then after this you say align, then center. Okay, so this, if I remove this, okay, yeah, so this also manages it to put some of in the you can see in the center. It moves it from the, it removes it from the edges of the view. Here, here, because if we are able to remove this, okay, if we remove that and then you look back, you realize that they are at the same, you see they are, the content starts from the edge of the screen here. But if I use align center, it is able to put it like away from the edges, at least there's some space. Okay, if you want maybe to put space, you see now if you look at this title and the text, there's no enough space, like it's so close. If I want to put space, so I can put the space using from the description here. I can say margin vertical. Margin vertical puts space, space between what? Space between like a component up and down. Okay, to put some space. So if we look at this, like you can see the space. If I put maybe 15, you will see that there is a bigger space between them. Okay, you see now it has gone up. Welcome to. So you see now there is some spacing. Okay, so that's basically it. You know, for what we've looked at the text, how you can apply styles. Maybe for today, let me go ahead and create a button which I will create inside maybe this one, the second view. So we would import a button from view. I say button, okay. Then after creating that, we'll go inside here and say button, okay, and I say click me, okay. Then we can actually, instead of this, we do this, and we also close it from here, and then we say title. No, first wait, it has a property called title, which is the title of the button basically. And if you look at this, this is our button, click me. This is how it looks like, click me, okay. If we want, we can write, if you want it to display a message, you can say on click. It's a function. I want it to autocomplete. On click, okay. You say console, or you can use alert. How are you, sir? Okay, how are you, sir? Okay, on click is just it's don't tell me in JavaScript there is no, but I think it's there. Or else, if I can do, I think React Native has a component called alert, and what we can do, we can say alert.alert, okay, title and then message. So we can put here I start with the title, I say greeting, okay, greeting, then you say that, okay. So if I come okay, yes, let me first use this. I might be using that something click. No, is the property code on click just does not exist on the type. So anyway, let me, if you've tried to, you can always come to this. Let me look for the component. If you forget something, you can always come to the what is it called, anyway, you can come here and search, say button, and then you see it here. They even show you the properties that can go there. They're actually here. Title on press, yes. So you see the function I'm looking for is on press, not on click. On click is I'm doing a lot of React now, so it is on press. So on press is when you press the button. So you say on press should display a message. Now if you come to this and you click this, you see it says greeting, how are you, sir? Okay, when you click a button, that's what I've told that in on click me. You can even say greet me, if you want to say send greeting as the name of the text, okay. If I come here, click send what, send greeting, how are you, sir? Okay, so if you want, you can write a function, then you put it here, okay. Instead of putting the name there, you can come here and say constant. I write a function called send greeting, okay, send greeting. Then I do this. Remember, I taught you how to write functions in JavaScript. That's why now this point is very important. Like, you guys are seeing me write things, but remember I took you through these things. You have to go back to functions if you've already forgotten about how you write functions. Then I will just copy my text here. Then I put it inside this. Then instead of I will copy the name, which is send greeting. Then here when I say on press, I'll put the name of the the name of the function to be executed. So instead of writing code here, you can write on press, then you say send greeting, so it will come and execute this method. So I can change the content to know, so that you guys can know that it is this one that we've done, that is executing the function. So if you come here, you say greeting hello sir, from how are you hello, so you can see. Okay, so okay, perfect. So we can design our button using styles, but before that I need to first make sure I put this thing in the center. So I can maybe what do I need to do? I say justify content center. Okay, then when you put it in the center, it means the information is going to go to the center, as you can see. Then align items or content also in the center. Okay, so that's why you can see my button is in the center. Okay, what I've done is to justify content in the center, which puts it in the center vertically, and then align items in the center, which puts like horizontally, puts it in the center. So that's why I'm having my button in the center. So you can apply styles. You can create a styles for button here. Then I will come and say button, or you can even call it your name. You say greeting button. Okay, so say greeting button, you say background color maybe green. Okay, background color green. So if you come here, you say style equals styles dot this. Okay, let's see, should be does this, we can, if you happen to forget the props, they can always come here. So this one does not. So normally there's a package that called React Native Paper. React Native Paper also provide these components. So it's not if you try to apply, if you want to know the props are, we normally here you're even seeing them props are properties that go on the on an element, just like you have what is it, in the div you can also have style. What other props can in HTML? You guys you use the HTML. So in this case you can see it has like color, disabled, etc. So instead of using style, this button, but there are some buttons, for example, from React Native Paper, you might have like styles. So here, instead of styles, you have to use color, and maybe color you say green. And if you say green, we expect the color of the app of the button to change. You can see send greeting. The color has changed to green. Okay. So you can already, if you want to make it disabled, you can see even there here, you can always come and apply these props. If you want to disable the button so that when someone clicks it, it does not do anything, you say disabled true, and if you disable it, you can even see it's disabled. If you click it, there's nothing. Okay, yeah. So now maybe for today I'm going to do some simple thing. I can delete this, is being used. We can do every time like a counter. Okay, we're going to build a counter. When you press click me, maybe it keeps on count, it like it keeps increasing the number and all that. So so instead we can say increment and decrement. Okay, let's do one that used to increment and increment. And so I can put another one here. I say decrement. Okay, so So if I want, I can say flex. Now just to show you what is happening here, you can see there are two, increment, decrement. Maybe this one can be red. There are two buttons I've created. Okay, the increment is in green, this one is in what, red. So we can maybe put them in a row. Flex, I think this is flex direction, flex direction, and then you say row. Okay, meaning that they are going to appear in one row. That's what flex direction does. Okay, as you can see. Then if you want, you can put them in a view so that we create space between them. Okay, create a view so that then here I can say style equals margin left, maybe I put 10. Oh, my phone has disconnected. I think I have let me repeat, since it has disconnected, because now even if I press, the phone has disconnected, so I have to start again. Okay, thumbs up if you're following. You guys are following? Thumbs up if you're following. Are you picking, guys? Conrad, you're putting an image. What's up? Yeah. So this one keeps disconnecting. Let me hope it is able to build. This is bad because it takes a bit of time. Anyway, so margin left would put a space behind. Now there's what we call state in React or React Native. We use state to keep track of the state of components. Okay, so for example, I can create state, I say counter, okay, which is going to help me sort of, count. Then there is a hook we called use state. Okay, and maybe I say by default my counter is 0, and when it's not imported, you import it from React. So you come here and then you say use state. Okay, so use state helps you in keeping, like, if you want those variables to keep state in your application, like to maintain a state, like it is able to remember it's sort of like a variable, but it remembers that variable, the information in that variable. Okay, that's what we use state for. So if you don't know about state, to read about state. So now first, when you're using this state, use state hook. Now the first one, as you can see now, I need to start it again. Okay, come back a bit here and then run this again. So this is our phone, you see. So we have increment, then decrement here. So now margin left puts it like this. Margin left 10, it was putting to make sure that we have this space between these two buttons. Now you want to have what I was saying, that to use state, it helps you to keep state of information. You create a variable which, so this one is the variable and this one is the function that you use. Okay, so here I can create two methods, one for incrementing, and so I say increment equals this. How do I increment? Now you set counter, okay, then you say counter plus equals 1. Okay, so meaning that it increments counter by what? By 1. then decrement is supposed to decrease by 1. So I can come here, to copy the function, not to waste time. I say decrement. Instead of a plus, I say minus. Okay, counter, set counter equals, it's like counter equals counter minus 1. So now once we do this on our two buttons, the first one on increment, you can include our function increment. Okay, then on this one we can say decrement, because the one is supposed to decrement, this one is supposed to increment, increase by 1, which we are doing inside here. Because you see, for set counter it is incrementing counter by 1, for decrement it is decreasing counter by 1. So here, before our button here, we can create a view and we say state we say counter, then we put the state of counter. Now if you want to print information like for variables, you use curly brackets. I remember we must have looked at it in but I don't want this one out of the, so I don't want this one out of, so what I can do is, this is what is happening. Counter is here, the two buttons are in the same row, but I want the counter to be up. So what do? Don't tell me my, okay, what do? I make sure that I put these buttons in the same view. First, wait, have I copied very well? This the battery is almost down, so let's quickly do this. I will do this, and I say style equals flex direction, then row. Okay, then here I remove it here, this. Okay, so then I can, so if you look at this, you can see that the counter is up, the buttons are down. I can put space here. I say margin vertical, then I say 10. Okay, so margin vertical will put space between the two. You can see now we have space. Now what happens is, so we need to make sure that we can increment. So if I put okay, so if I put like this one, let's say put 5, then I say 10. Let's first do a small demo. If I do this, now I'm saying that if set counter, if you increment it, put it 5. If you say decrement, you can actually say 5, then here 10. So it's sort of changing values. Okay, if you say increment, it puts it 10. If you say decrement, it puts it 5. So if we do this, if I say increment, you see counter becomes 10. If I say decrement, it puts it 5. You see how it changes automatically here. Okay, so if we want to say keep on incrementing, so you can say new value equals, you say counter, then plus 1. Okay, then here we set in the new value. Okay, then for decrementing, we can say constant new value equals counter, then minus 1, because it has to reduce. Okay, so then we put it here. Oh no, please, this is a new value, please. Okay, so something like this. So if you're incrementing, you get the new value will be counter, but the current value of counter then plus 1. Then I can let me first reload so that reload. So what I'm saying is that on incrementing, it gets the current value of counter, adds 1. Decrementing, it reduces by 1. So let's see. If I say increment, you see it's 1. If I add 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, if you say decrement, it has to reduce 1. You see it's now it goes down a bit. If you see, again add, you can add up to whatever you want. If you keep on adding, if you decrement, it keeps now going down. Okay, so something like that. So yeah, so that's basically it. I think this is good for today. So this is the application we've built today. So we've seen how you can style, create title, this and the text, style it, how to create buttons, and then create functions on place to make sure that you can see some action happening. Yeah, I believe that's good for today.